The reason people are ignoring you is you're speaking over their heads, clever language, you're using different language. You need a soundbite strategy to grow your business. This is your marketing strategy from here on out. This is what you need to do. Create a 3-phase messaging campaign on the foundation of 5 talking points that cover curiosity, enlightenment, and commitment. You check all 3, your business will grow. We've seen it thousands of times in the customers that we work with. This will work for you. How do you sell just about anything with StoryBrand Soundbites? Well, what are StoryBrand Soundbites? StoryBrand Soundbites are short statements. There's 5 of them that you can use to get attention. The problem with most businesses is they're not getting attention because they're speaking over their customers' heads, they're using inside language, they're using jargon. All of that is fine if a customer has expressed interest and is sitting down and asking you to pitch them. But the problem is, how do you get attention so they're actually interested in doing that? Most people actually start out by sitting down as though the customer is ready to pay attention when the customer is not ready to pay attention. What you need to get them to be ready to pay attention are sound bites. And again, there are 5 of them. I'm going to go through them with you. These are provocative, interesting sound bites that get people to turn and say, wait, can you tell me more about that? I think that's 90% of a messaging campaign. And I would say overwhelmingly, the majority of companies that fail, the majority of businesses that fail, the problem wasn't the product, the problem was they could not get attention. StoryBrand Soundbites really work like magic words. Now, I don't believe in actual magic, but I do believe in brain science. And brain science basically says, if you can give me a soundbite that associates your product with my survival, I pay attention. It's almost like abracadabra, and people turn around and go, what? You want a custom soundbite that associates your product with the customer's problem, because the brain is a problem-solving machine. It's always going to pay attention to problems. So basically, when you say something to the effect of, look, your roof is leaking and it's going to cost you a lot of money in your attic, you need to fix it right away, then all of a sudden they go, yeah, that's true. Oh, it's going to cost me a lot of money. My survival mechanism and my problem-solving skills go into play, and I'm interested in your solution. And so we want to find those custom sound bites for you that make people go, wait, can you tell me more? They really do work like magic words. Now, the reason that your words aren't working right now, it's pretty simple. The confused mind says no. If I don't understand what you're talking about, I'm going to say no. If you speak over my head, use sophisticated language, use inside jargon, if you start on third base when you really should be starting on first base, then I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to tell you I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to say no. If potential customers cannot figure out what problem you can solve for them within seconds, word is unlikely to spread about your product. What you need to do that is a soundbite strategy that starts making sense immediately. The problem is the cognitive load of your message is too high. What do I mean by cognitive load? Well, when I look at words on a billboard or the header of a website or the email subject line or even an email itself, I weigh those words. I wrote a book called Building a Story Brand. It's all about how to use words to grow your business. I look at words very differently. I look at words, and some of them are light and easy to pick up, easy to understand. Some of them are heavy and hard to pick up. The heavier your words, the more likely people are to ignore them. Most businesses are too vague when describing their offer. Therefore, the cognitive load involved in understanding why the customer should buy is too high, and that costs you sales. The problem is the words that you're using are very light to you because you've been around them for so long and you've used them for so long, you're used to them. You don't realize these things weigh 50 pounds and nobody else can pick them up. You need words where the cognitive load is actually 0, light as a feather, 0. The lower the cognitive load, the more people will place orders. I'm going to repeat that. It's very important. The lower the cognitive load, the more people will place orders. Now, if you run a business, I guarantee you, I could go to your website right now and I could say the cognitive load of your headline on that website is 70. Nobody's buying from you. The cognitive load on your call to action is 33. The cognitive load on this paragraph is 65. It's all got to be 0 in that introduction in order to get people to pay attention. Now, I happen to like clothes. It's kind of my hobby, so I'm on camera a lot. But if I'm in another city, I will go and ChatGPT and look for a men's shop that I can go and see if they've got a sweater or a tie or a suit or something I'm interested in. I was in Colorado Springs recently. I found a store. I changed the name of the shop because I don't want to, throw them under the bus because they were wonderful people. But I went to their website, and on the header of the website, it said this: "Welcome to the men's shop where style meets purpose." What does style meeting purpose mean? I, as a person who likes to buy clothes, have never wanted my style to meet my purpose. That thought has never come to me. I'm going to actually weigh the words on the header of this website on a scale of 1 to 100, where style meets purpose adds 20 pounds. You want it to be 0. We're already at 20 pounds, which is unacceptable in terms of selling anything. Since opening in 2017, all right, we're adding 15 more pounds because you told me that you're less than 10 years old. Not information that I need. That's information for you to tell your mother-in-law. It is not information that I need as a customer. We have been on a mission. It says, okay, now you're bringing up your mission. My mission is to buy clothes. You're telling me about your mission. I'm not interested. That doesn't help me survive. I'm glad you're on a mission, but tell that to your staff. Don't tell it to your customer. We have been on a mission adds another 15 pounds. Now, this is where it gets really weird. We're on a mission. We've been on a mission to not only dress the modern human. Modern human? What's a modern human? I mean, basically, you're telling me you don't dress dead people. You dress people who are alive. Great to know. I don't know what am I a modern human? I have no idea. In stylish business and professional apparel. I don't know the difference between business and professional apparel. Modern human, by the way, we're adding 25 pounds. Business and professional apparel, we're adding 15 more pounds to make a positive impact on our community. You're trying to make some sort of positive impact. That's very vague. I don't understand. That adds 10 pounds. Total cognitive load, we're already at 100 pounds. This is an awful paragraph if you're trying to grow a business. And most of you, you're kind of going, yeah, that is an awful paragraph, without realizing you're writing the same crap on your website, the same high cognitive load sound bites that are causing customers to ignore you. They literally are not paying attention because they have to think too hard, too much weight to carry. They have to think too hard to figure out how you can get them something that they want. The goal then is to decrease the cognitive load of all messaging. Your sound bites should be clear. Your sound bites should be consistent, meaning they should be repeated. Your sound bites should stick and spread. Short, simple sound bites. You actually need 5 of them. Let me show you a difference with one of our clients. This is YNAB. It's an app that you can get in the Apple Store that helps you manage your money. It's really a wonderful app run by fantastic people. Their old line on top of their website was change your relationship with money. I would give change your relationship with money a cognitive load of 20 or so. Not awful. I mean, it's not 100, it's 20. Because what is a relationship with money? You're introducing a complicated concept. They changed it to this: never worry about money again. Cognitive load on never worry about money again is 0. Wow, that's an offer where the previous one was also an offer, but a little bit of a high cognitive load. This will perform better. We spent a day together. We came up with their 5 sound bites, and they're now using them all over their marketing collateral. A guy came to me and said, Don, I've got a window washing company. Tell me how to grow my business. And I said, you know what? It's pretty easy. Put together a little business card, have it say, look out the nearest window. If it's dirty, call this number, and we'll clean it. Keep the messaging so clear, it's a 0 cognitive load. Look out a window. If it's dirty, call this number. You're telling people exactly what to do, and it takes 0 cognitive load for them to understand. Now, he didn't even have to put his logo on this if he doesn't want to. He didn't have to put anything. Just print these business cards, super cheap, put them in every mailbox in your city, and you will be so busy, you don't even have time to go clean all the windows of the people who want to do business with you. Why? Is it pretty? No, it's not pretty. Is it designed well? No, it's not designed well. But the words make sense, and it's 0 cognitive load. I have a friend who owns a coffee shop here in town, a great coffee shop called Stay Golden, and he put together a course that teaches baristas how to be better baristas, right? He actually did this. He put together an ad for the course that he put on Meta. It said, drowning in coffee shop chaos, stop doing everything yourself. That ad got 18 clicks in 48 hours. 18 clicks in 48 hours. Why? That's not a very good performance, by the way. What is coffee shop chaos? That's a high cognitive load statement. Stop doing everything yourself. What is everything, right? Is it walking my dog? Like, what's everything? I don't know what everything is. It's vague, therefore high cognitive load. It's not specific. He changed the text, and in the same 48-hour period, losing baristas faster than you can hire. It doesn't have to be this way. That is a zero cognitive load statement, and he got 125 clicks. That's about 6 times, a 600% increase in the same amount of time, in 48 hours, by having a zero cognitive load statement. This stuff is very important. High cognitive load messages sink, low cognitive load messages soar. The lighter the load, the more sales you are going to do. If your offer cannot be communicated in 5 sound bites, your product is likely to fail. This is critical. I want to give you 5 sound bites that you can use to grow your business, and they all have to be zero cognitive load sound bites. Now, all of this is part of a 3-phase messaging campaign. The first thing you've got to do in your messaging campaign is pique people's curiosity, and you do that with curiosity sound bites, with 5 sound bites. Again, I'm going to teach you this in a second. Once you have your 5 sound bites, you use them to enlighten customers in an enlightenment campaign. That's where you sit down and you explain things. You have now earned the right to be heard. Most businesses start with enlightenment. They really need to start with curiosity. That's what you've been missing. And then you also need commitment collateral. Once you enlighten them, you need incentives that make them want to buy. That is a 3-phase StoryBrand messaging campaign, and you need to run a really great messaging campaign. Once you have your 5 sound bites, you can use them to create a brand script, to create your piece sound bites, your 5 sound bites. I'll get to that in a second. To create your elevator pitch, your landing pages. This will inform your social media posts, your lead generators, your video scripts, just like this one, the one I'm delivering right now, your advertising copy, your email and text campaigns. Notice we're using more and more words as we go deeper into a messaging campaign. Your sales rep talking points. Now we're enlightening people with newsletters, keynote presentations, explanatory videos. Now we're getting into commitment where we're asking for the sale. Pitch decks, proposals, surprise and delight collateral, brand evangelist collateral. Even after somebody buys from you, you're not done disseminating your sound bites. You can turn them into mini books and really elaborate on them in books themselves. This would be a robust messaging campaign, all built on the foundation of 5 sound bites. You check all 3 parts of your messaging campaign, and it's going to be incredibly effective. This is your marketing strategy from here on out. Now that you've watched this video, this is what you need to do. Create a 3-phase messaging campaign on the foundation of 5 talking points that covers curiosity, it covers enlightenment, and it covers commitment. Your consumer curiosity needs to be checked. Your consumer confidence by enlightening them needs to be checked. Your consumer commitment needs to be checked. You check all 3, your business will grow. We've seen it thousands of times in the customers that we work with. This will work for you. Why does it work so well? Well, it works so well because a business looks from the outside, from your customer's perspective, like a house. What do I mean? I mean, it's got front steps that lead you to the front porch that leads you to the front door. The front steps are your curiosity sound bites, those 5 sound bites. They get attention. They bring me closer to you. Then when I'm on the front porch, you give me enlightenment collateral that makes me understand how the process works, what this costs, what my risk would be, whether the performance fit is going to be right, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, you incentivize me to go inside. This is what a business should look like, but this is what your business looks like. You're missing the front step sound bites. You're missing the enlightenment collateral, and you're not incentivizing people to go inside. Would you go into this house? This house looks like a haunted house, and it's exactly what your business looks like because you don't have a 3-phase messaging campaign. All right, let's talk about the StoryBrand soundbite strategy and these 5 critical soundbites that you need to grow your business. They actually follow a framework. I call it the peace framework, and the reason is every story is about a hero who's at peace, their peace is disrupted, and then somebody comes along and returns them to peace. Your customer is the hero. Their peace has been disrupted because they have a problem that you solve. You enter into their life and you return them to peace. And you can do all that. You can invite them into that story with 5 sound bites. The first soundbite is the problem soundbite. You need to own a problem as a business. Then the empathy soundbite positions you as the caring guide who helps the hero win. And then you need an answer soundbite. The answer soundbite positions your product as the solution to the customer's problem. You need a change soundbite that speaks to the transformation that your customer will experience if they buy your product. They personally will be transformed. And an end result soundbite that speaks to the happy ever after vision of what their life can look like if they buy your product. You use these 5 soundbites to rescue the customer from their problem and return them to peace. How does it work? Well, it works with those 5 soundbites that make up the front steps. The problem soundbite. The purpose of the problem soundbite is to attract attention. You need a soundbite that makes people say, oh my gosh, I need that. Oh my gosh, I have that problem. The reason the problem soundbite comes first is human beings are problem-solving animals. They are risk assessors. They are interested in survival. So they are interested mostly, more than anything else, human beings are interested in negativity. They're interested in problems because problems are threats, and we are designed to look for threats and see them really quickly. Oh, there's a threat. You know, there can be 1,000 things going right. We're always going to look for the one thing going wrong. So you need a problem soundbite that gets attention. Now I've turned toward your house. I've taken one step, and then you're going to give me the empathy soundbite. The purpose of the empathy soundbite is to create an empathetic bond, and you suddenly become the authoritative figure who cares about me and can help me out. So we know how it feels to struggle with. Have you ever felt, whatever? The empathy soundbite creates that bond. Then you need the answer soundbite. That is the soundbite where you position your product as the solution to the customer's problem. That elevates, the purpose of that soundbite is to elevate the value of the product or the idea that you're pitching. Then you need a change soundbite. The purpose of the change soundbite is to add personal value to the offer. You increase the value of the offer by saying not only will this product solve your problem, it will literally change you into a more competent version of yourself. And then the end result soundbite. The purpose of the end result soundbite is to cast a vision that motivates and directs action. You need these 5 soundbites, and they officially or essentially create an elevator pitch, like a Shark Tank style pitch. But those soundbites can be used in an elevator pitch, in a keynote address, in a YouTube video. They're also so short that you can use them as the header on your website. You can repeat them all over your website. You can put them in every single social media post. The exact same soundbites with the exact same words. The goal is to have your customer memorize your soundbites, thus memorizing your sales pitch, thus understanding exactly what you offer. And I guarantee you it works like magic words. Your 5 soundbites work because they invite those who hear them into a story, and story is the most powerful tool known to man to get attention and compel a human brain. What do I mean by that? Well, you've got a hero at peace, and all of a sudden that hero falls into a hole. Your problem soundbite describes the hole that your customer is in. And if you want to grow your business and you want to dominate in the market, you need to own a hole. You need to own a problem. That's your goal. And you can only do that with a problem soundbite repeated over and over until you're blue in the face. That way people memorize the problem. If I have this problem, I'm going to call your number. Remember the window washer? They own a dirty window. That's the hole that they own. You want to own a problem, and you can only do that with a single soundbite repeated word for word, exactly the same way over and over, causing the body politic, the masses, to memorize the fact that when they have this problem, they call you. If you use elusive language, it won't work. If you use vague language, it won't work. If you use inside jargon, it won't work. If you use clever and sophisticated and cute language that advertising agencies will sell you all day long, it will not work. You need plain, simple language. If you have this problem, call me. Now, the guide shows up and he empathizes with the hero. You want to be the guide, not the hero, because the guide is strong and outside of the hole. The hero's in a hole. Why do you want to be the hero? The hero's in a hole. You don't want to be weak. You want to be strong. You're Gandalf. You are Yoda. You are Haymitch. And you are calling into the hole. I feel so sorry for you in this hole. I care about you. That positions you as the guide and creates a bond. They now have hope that you can get them out of this hole. Then you have the answer soundbite. That positions the product as the solution to the problem, the rope that is being thrown into the hole. They can then climb out of the hole using your product, and they are changed forevermore. They are now a competent version of themselves. You have added a personal transformation to the problem-solving ability. That actually increases the value of the product and the urgency that the customer might have to solve that problem. And then you need the happily ever after end result soundbite that paints a picture of what their life can look like if they buy your product. Those 5 soundbites serve as the foundation for your messaging and marketing campaign for the next decade. You don't just do this once. You do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you're sick of saying them. And when you're sick of saying them, you keep saying them for 10 more years. That is how you get the public, who is not paying attention to you, by the way, to memorize your offer and repeat it to their friends. That is the key to growing a business. Let me give you an example of what this looks like in a house metaphor. We have a client called YNAB. They came to us for their messaging. It's an app that you can buy on the App Store. They make a lot of money selling this app. It has a cult-like following. People just love this app, and it helps you manage your money and helps you manage your spending, and it's really organized a lot of people's lives as it relates to their money and their money management. Let's look at the 5 sound bites that they came up with in order to get people to pay attention to them. The problem: has there ever been a time when you've worried about money? Wow. Right? They're going to own the worried about money hole, and they should. They deserve that hole. They own it. If you worry about money, download the YNAB app. Empathy: we know how that feels. Don't overthink the empathetic statement. Just care about your customer and really, really love and care for people who are in the hole that you own. We care exclusively about people who struggle with this problem. Answer soundbite: download the YNAB app. Notice, if you're worried about money, download the YNAB app. Pretty easy to memorize. Anytime you feel worried about money, it should trigger you to go back to the YNAB app. Then the change is, and get good with money. We're going to transform you into somebody who is good with money. They like that so much it became their tagline: get good with money. The end result, so that you never worry about money again. That is the end result, the happy ever after. You never have to worry about money again. Soundbite: 0 cognitive load on every single one of these soundbites. It's not sophisticated. It's not inside language. It's not clever. It's not cute. It is 0 cognitive load. Now notice they all go together. The problem: has there ever been a time when you've worried about money? The end result is you'll never worry about money again. How do you do that? You download the YNAB app to get good with money. They just work together like chords on a guitar, and you can use them anywhere you want to write really great songs. The CEO, Todd, he can use this in keynote presentations. You can use this on your website. Use it all over your social media. Since they started using sound bites like this, they've had a 400% increase in their social media interest. Why? Well, previously they were making people think too hard. Their words weighed too much. Now with 0 cognitive load, people stop scrolling and they pay attention because they don't have to think. Look, when you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or any of that, going through LinkedIn, you're not there to think. People are asking you to think. You're not there to think. You're there to turn off your brain, maybe learn something automatically. 0 cognitive load is the way that you do that. Then they use those 5 sound bites to create a messaging campaign. Lead generators, such as 5 signs your boyfriend is bad with money. Every girl on the planet who's dating is going to download that lead generator, and they're going to read it, and they're going to find out about the YNAB principles. Social media campaigns: celebrities who are good with money. 5 ways Taylor Swift is good with money. 6 ways Morgan Wallen is not good with money. Whatever you want to do, you can have fun with that, and you can capitalize on celebrity popularity, but then use it as a Trojan horse to teach your principles inside of it. That's a great enlightenment campaign. Educational content: blog posts, videos, emails showing tips and tricks on how to get good with money. All of that can be informed by your 5 sound bites. In a messaging campaign, we recommend at least 3 pieces of enlightenment collateral, but really you want about 300. You want to keep creating these, and in every single one of them, repeat your 5 sound bites. Then, what about the front door? How do we incentivize people to actually walk through? Well, you can do impulse buy stimulation. These are repeated talking points. increasing the close rate. You can offer bonuses, free trial bonus possibilities at checkout and email messaging. You can incentivize people with time-sensitive community programs like debt-free in 12 months. You have a giant debt-free in 12 months contest. Download the YNAB app. Let's all get debt-free in 12 months. These are incentives to get people to walk through the front door. We recommend at least 3 commitment incentives to increase sales. And all 3 of these amount to a really great messaging campaign. All right, let's look at a few examples of StoryBrand sound bites and how they might work to create different kinds of campaigns. Here is a book campaign example. We just went through this yesterday. Charles and Chase Koch are releasing a book. The book is probably going to be called The Principle-Driven Leader. We just came up with the title yesterday. The Principle-Driven Leader with a subtitle. But let's look at The Principle-Driven Leader by Charles and Chase Koch. You know, the book isn't out yet. It may be out by the time you watch this video. Go look for it on Amazon. These guys have built a multi-$100 billion empire. Georgia Pacific, all sorts of companies that the Koch family has taken over. And the idea is they're teaching you the principles to build a business like theirs. So what are the sound bites that we want to use? Now, these are very, very intelligent people. So the sound bites they were using, I think, were a little too vague. They were trying to make this book about everything. It's really a book about building an enduring business. So what we said was you want to know the principles that allow you to build an enduring business. And what's going to happen is Charles and Chase are going to own the phrase enduring business, a business that lasts. That's the whole they're going to own. If you want to grow a business that outlives you, you need to understand these principles. That's the whole they decided to own. Empathy. It's hard to build a business that lasts. God knows it's hard to build a business that lasts. There are 41 principles it takes to build an enduring business. That's the answer. So they empathize. Then they give you the answer. It's in the book, The Principle-Driven Leader. And then change. You will become a principle-driven leader. That's the name of the book. 41 Principles That Build an Enduring Business is the subtitle. And then end result, you will build a business that can endure anything. Zero cognitive load, especially for the target market. That is people who are growing businesses. Zero cognitive load. I would expect book sales would be 100% over what they projected because we simplified the message. Now, inside the book, you can have a really high cognitive load, but on that back cover, on the title, on the Amazon copy, you need zero cognitive load messages that sell that book. All right, let's look at a talent recruiting campaign. It's not just to sell products. What if you're trying to grow your business and you need to recruit top talent? Let's look at this. Problem, you want a job that can turn into a career. So we're going to go with a certain angle to recruit top talent. We're looking for long-term players interested in building their career at our company. So we're going to say the hole that we own, the problem that we own is you want a job that can turn into a career. Empathy. It's hard to do a job when you know you can't move up. We're going to identify and empathize with the people who are stuck in a job and they can't seem to move up. Answer, 90% of our leadership team were moved up from the inside of the company. We move people up from the inside. Therefore, you've got a really great shot at building a career here. Change, we will develop you to become a great leader, and then the end result, you will have a lifelong, meaningful career. Now, this serves as the foundation for all of our recruiting efforts. This is going to go on the walls of our booth at job fairs. This is going to go in our job postings. This is going to go in our on-ramping material. This is going to go, on monster.com. It's going to go everywhere, and we're going to recruit talent using these 5 sound bites. Anybody who feels like they're stuck in their job and they're not going to be able to move up, but we're actually recruiting people who are interested in a long-term career, staying with the company, not temporarily passing through. This is a great campaign. All right, let's look at one for a simple coffee subscription campaign. If you're a retail brick and mortar business, this might be something that you want to pay special attention to. How do we get people to sign up and pay for coffee? We need little signs near the cash register, a blanket brochure or postcard that goes out to the community. Problem, it's hard to make a world-class cup of coffee at home. Now, we can go a bunch of different directions with our problem. We've got to choose one. That's a rule, by the way. You can only choose one problem, or the story can't be about 3 problems. It's got to be about 1 problem. So commas are not your friend. It's hard to make a world-class cup of coffee at home. That's the direction we're going to choose. Empathy. We think you should start your day with the best cup of coffee possible. Answer, our coffee subscription plan gives you the best coffee at the best price. Change, you will save time and money and still get the best cup of coffee. End result, you will start every day with a cup of coffee that you love. The best cup of coffee at a great price is the controlling idea. These 5 sound bites are each 0 cognitive load. That's very important. Nobody has to think. They read that little placard next to the cash register, and the guy at the cash register says, would you like to, instead of paying for this cup of coffee, you just want a monthly subscription? It's $12 a month or $15 a month. They're going to get an enormous number of people saying yes because they got the postcard in the mail, they saw it on the website, they're seeing it on the sign, and the person at the cash register is repeating the exact same sound bites. That's called a messaging campaign. That's called a StoryBrand soundbite strategy, and it works. You need your business to look like this. It does not look like this. It looks like this. You need 5 sound bites. You need front porch collateral. You need front door collateral. You need curiosity sound bites. You need enlightenment material. You need commitment material so that your business can look like this and it can grow. It is warm, it's inviting, it's understandable. Most importantly, it feels safe. I am not confused. The confused mind always says no. All right. If you're saying, Don, soundbite strategy is something I want to know more about, I can send you a video every single week. It's an they're not on YouTube. It's a video that I will email you, and you will watch me do a StoryBrand soundbite strategy for a bunch of different brands, a bunch of different products. Some of them are clients. Some of them, I go through the world's problems, and I talk about how that problem didn't have to happen if they would have come up with a soundbite strategy. So we're going to talk about China policy. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. But mostly, I'm going to help you sell things using a StoryBrand soundbite strategy. If you want those example videos, I'll send you one for free every week. Just go to StoryBrand.com and sign up. If you want a soundbite example video emailed to you every week, just go to StoryBrand.com and I will send that to you. The soundbite strategy is what you have been missing. It's what you've been missing. The reason people are ignoring you is you're speaking over their heads, clever language, you're using different language. You need a soundbite strategy to grow your business. When you do, we've seen it over and over. Companies will grow by 100%, 200%. I've seen companies grow by 400% just getting their words right. If you are being ignored, I guarantee you the problem is you're using the wrong words. I want to teach you the right words. Go to StoryBrand.com. Get that free email. I'll send you a video every week, and I will turn you into a soundbite specialist who knows how to use words. Go to StoryBrand.com right now and grab that video. They're not on YouTube. They're only emailed to people. Go to StoryBrand.com right now and grab that video.